thanks all for joining us. Merci tout le monde. I think Summer obviously needs no introduction, coming off her 3 world records from our trials and her 3 gold medals last year and getting ready for these world championships. I also did just want to take a second to introduce Sarah Jenkins, who some of you may know. So just with all the media and social media and everything going on around Summer, Sarah's now part of Summer's team to help her manage all that. So we're working together on things like media availability. So Summer, it's a pretty firm 30 minutes today. We're going to look to finish up. So I'd ask, I know I checked in with a few of you about questions beforehand. So hopefully we can kind of try to keep it to one per outlet and hopefully kind of no repeat questions. And then if we do have a little bit of time for follow-ups at the end, that is great. So I think we would start with CBC. I don't know if Brittany has joined yet. And then for anyone else who has a question, maybe just raise your hand or put a comment in the chat and we can call on you. And I guess if Brittany's not there, did you want to start, Jesse, with a question from CBC? And then maybe we'll go to Bruce after that.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Nathan. Hi, Summer. I think a lot of fans are really looking forward to seeing you race against Katie Ledecky in the 4 and 800 free. So, what are your thoughts on that matchup?
Oh, I'm really excited. I think overall, I'm just super pumped to get to Singapore. I mean, it's the final days now. We got about 18 days to go, and I think I'm just super ready to race. And really, I'm focused on day one, which is the 4 free and 2 IM. But there's going to be so many exciting races throughout the whole week and a bit. So, yeah, it's going to be awesome.
All right, Bruce.
Hi, Summer. Bruce Arthur from the Toronto Star. In Victoria, we all know what happened. 3 world records. You took real runs at the 800 and the 800 free, 200 fly. Do you have a sense going into Singapore based on your training? I know you always want to be faster and you're always trying to get faster. Do you have a sense of how much faster you might be, whether you are faster, and whether you might be able to take even closer runs at those 2 records that you didn't set in Victoria?
I mean, I think the goal is always to be faster, and that's how I approach every day in training. But I think the fun part of the sport is not knowing how fast you're going to swim out of me, and those unknowns are really fun. But I mean, I'm feeling really strong in training, and I think basically all the work is done at this point. But I've definitely done some fine tuning with Fred and just try to get back to work as fast as possible after trials. But at this point, I'm just kind of slowly starting my taper and getting really excited for starting to race.
Okay, great. So I do see Brittany has joined here now, and others, if you'd like to ask a question, raise your hand or put a comment in the chat, please.
Awesome, thank you. Brittany McLean here from CBC Sports. Summer, the last we spoke in Victoria, it was one of the most successful 5 days any swimmer has ever put together. I wanted to quickly go down to specifics because you just mentioned, leveling up over the last couple of weeks. Day one for you is huge. That 400 free has held high expectation over the last couple of years. I wondered, the Worlds, the Olympics, you've never quite gotten that gold medal. Are you approaching this any differently than you have another meet, or is this a new hurdle that you're still yet to conquer?
Well, yeah, it's true that I haven't been able to do it on the world stage yet, I think. And I think going into past big meets, I haven't had the confidence in my training and in my freestyle in general, technique wise and endurance wise, that I have now, especially with Fred. He's really pushed me to the next level in my freestyle, and having endurance to finish in 800 has definitely also helped my 400 freestyle. So I'm super pumped for the 400 freestyle. And I'm also really excited to see how I manage doing the double. I mean, it's only a semi for the 2 IM, but still doing a doubles it's always kind of fun. So I've never done a 4 free 2 IM double. So it'll be fun to do that as well and just kind of really get things rolling day one.
Okay, great. Over to Andy Ross from World Aquatics.
Hi, Summer. I had a question about you had 3 world records at the world trials, but you got really close in the 200 fly and the 800 free, 2 events that a lot of people didn't think could be touched for a long time. What did it mean to you to go 202 and 805 in those events at that meet, and what are you looking forward to come Singapore in those 2 specifically?
Yeah, for sure. I think people tend to focus on the 3 world records, but those other 2 races at trials were honestly 2 of my favorites. I would say 200 fly was my second favorite race that I did there, other than the 400 freestyle, just time wise and how I split it and things like that. So yeah, really pumped to be able to get another run at it in Singapore and see how things work out. I mean, but my main goal in Singapore is just to get my hand on the wall first as many times as I can rather than the time. But in doing so, it can also come with some world records, hopefully. So we'll have to see.
Okay, over to Abdulhamid from Canadian Press.
Hi. I wanted to ask you, what were some of your takeaways from the Paris Games and even the recent trials that you feel like has pushed you to the levels you've reached and the levels you want to reach come Worlds?
I think every time I do a trials or a world championships or an Olympics or any bigger meet and where I'm swimming my main events, I learn so much about myself as a swimmer and how to manage expectations and emotions that I have put on myself. Along with just recovery, warm up, warm down, massage, things like that, being able to manage media and all those kinds of things. I really learn what works best for me and just kind of figuring out my exact schedule and how to reach my full potential in my races and how the whole day has to be kind of made up to do so. So I think that's where I've gained a lot of confidence as well, just knowing that I know what I need to do race day, a few days before the meet starts and throughout the whole meet, I know that I can kind of hold on to my aerobic capacity and things like that as well, and also mentally not get too drained. So I think that's what I've really grown on as a person and as a swimmer as I continue to do longer and bigger meets, swimming my main events.
Okay, over to Kayla from COC.
Hi, Summer. You mentioned the endurance from the 800, adding some extra confidence in the 400 freestyle. Is there anything else that you've been focused on in training that you're looking forward to showcasing at the World Championships?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm always kind of juggling all four strokes, which is always a good time in training how to figure that out, along with adding in the 800. I've focused a little bit more on maybe a little bit more distance training. I mean, not a ton, but always having the back of my mind because it's never going to hurt when you're trying to finish a 400 free or 400 IM, let alone an 800. But I think overall, I'm just excited to see how I manage doing 5 events, which I've never done before on the world level. I did 4 in Paris, and I think to add this new challenge this year really kept me motivated. So I'm excited to see how that goes.
Okay, Andrew from Olympic Channel.
Hey, Summer. Why did you decide to join Bob Bowman's training group? And did his success with Leon Marchand in the medleys play a major factor as well? What kind of areas are you looking to evolve mentally and physically under him?
There's many reasons I made the decision to move to Austin and train under Bob Bowman. I mean, it's really amazing to see what he's done with Leon, of course, and that's really inspiring, along with so many of his other current swimmers that are currently on the pro team and the university team as well. Along with, of course, what he did with Michael. I mean, that's never going to not be something that the swim world knows about, right? So I think it's just very encouraging to see what he's been able to do time and time again with men and female swimmers in a range of events. And I think the events that he coaches and specializes in a little bit more so are my events, so it works out pretty well. And just getting to talk to him and see the program and things like that, I just see myself growing there as not only a swimmer but as a person as well. And I was really ready to take that next step in my swimming career.
All right, Simon Drouin from La Presse.
Yes, thank you, Summer. How much of a blueprint Singapore is going to be? You're going to swim 5 individual events, and you mentioned your goal of winning 5 gold medals in LA 28. So, how do you see Singapore as a blueprint for going forward to LA?
The end goal of every, it's all about Olympic cycles when it comes to swimming, but I think World Championships are always a good run through. But right now, I'm really just trying to see this new challenge and see if I can do 5 events individually and how well I can do in them and how I can manage it as well. And of course, LA is always in the back of my mind, and my goal for there is to do 5 events. So kind of doing that run through now, 3 years out, is definitely something that will give me lots of confidence as we get closer and closer to LA.
Okay, over to our friends from Japanese TV, Asahi. I see Azumi's hand up there.
Yes, hi, thank you. Hi, Summer. So unfortunately, the Ariane's not going to be in Singapore this time, but the Katie Ledecky will be. So what does it mean to have her presence in Singapore for you, especially for like 4 free and 8 free?
I mean, anytime I get to race Katie, it's a learning experience and it's always a good race. So I'm really excited to match up with her again in Singapore in the 4 free and the 800, which I've never done the 800 on the world level before, so it'll be lots of fun. And I've also never done heats and finals of 800 before, so just seeing how I manage all that, I think will be interesting. But I mean, anytime I get to race Katie, it's lots of fun and I learn so much about myself, and I think we bring the best out of each other for sure.
Okay, Matthew DeGeorge from Swimming World, and we've really moved through a lot of questions here. So anyone else, feel free to raise your hand if you have a follow-up or another question.
Hey, Summer, how are you? I wonder, you're obviously still on the young end of the spectrum, but you've been to a lot of different international meets now. I wonder if this is a way to practice some of the kind of leadership aspects in Singapore of being, I guess, one of the more, there's a lot more younger girls on this team this year. I wonder how you see yourself evolving in that way as a kind of leader of Team Canada.
First, being on my first ever senior or junior team was the Olympic Games when I was just 14, and I was definitely the baby of the team. I think everyone kind of looked at me as like a little sister, but as I'm growing up and there's people that are around my age that are on the team now, it's amazing to see. And now that I have a lot more experience under my belt, I can, share that with the next gen coming up as well. But I am still only 18, so it's nice to be able to connect with people that are older and younger than me and kind of be somewhere in the middle age-wise and things like that, but at the same time have the experience of these past few years that given me.
I have to shake my head, Summer, that we didn't even have you on a world junior team before all this
I know,
started.
crazy.
So I see James Sutherland from Swim Swam. Let's go over to you.
Hi, Summer. I was wondering how much thought you put into picking the 800 free as your fifth event, and like if that was a tough decision or not, and if there was a draw to race Ledecky head to head on such a big stage and like her best event, arguably, if that was a big pull for you, or if it was just the best event for your schedule.
I think there was many reasons why I picked the 800. I think it's, in my opinion, the biggest challenge was, of course, Katie being so strong and in her top form right now this season is also really cool to see. So that matchup will be awesome. But I think also it just works really well with my schedule, to be honest. And if I were to pick the 200 free or 200 back, I would have been a semi. So, I mean, the 800 is longer, but it's one less session. So that's the only, kind of easier thing about it, I would say. So yeah, I mean, it was many reasons why I ended up picking the 800, but I think overall it was kind of a scheduling thing. And I think it's also an extra little bit of a challenge, kind of adding in a new aspect into my training a little bit when it's a little bit more distance rather than doing the 200 freestyle wouldn't be changing much, as I've always kind of trained for that. So yeah, I mean, it's not something that I'm always going to keep in my schedule, I don't think. I mean, I could maybe potentially, but that fifth event will, continue to be a question mark leading into LA. I mean, I could go back to the 2 free or the 2 back, along with keeping my core events as well.
Okay, Nick from NBC.
Hi, thank you, Nathan. Thanks, Summer, for taking the time. I want to ask, how did the FaceTime with Michael Phelps come about, and what did he say?
Oh my gosh, that was so cool. It was crazy. I literally was mid practice and this was the day after trials ended and I was just about to catch a flight, and then all of a sudden I see Brittany like in the corner, like in a stairwell, and she was like, "Come here." And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, I need to like keep training. And then she's like, "Someone wants to talk to you." And then she hands me the phone and it's Michael Phelps. And I'm like, wait, what is going on? I was in utter shock, of course. I was not expecting that whatsoever. And I got to chat to him and he was so down to earth and so nice. And I've never met him before. So it was really cool to, talk to my childhood idol, and he's still my idol, of course. And the goat of swimming. So just getting to know him a little bit as a person. He was golfing actually with his son. So that was really cute to see as well. And he was just congratulating me on what I had just accomplished. And it was, honestly, it's still a shock. I can't believe that still happened, to be honest. But it was an honor and it was so cool to get to talk to him, and definitely gave me more motivation to keep doing what I'm doing for sure.
Okay, Denis Menetrier, Le Monde.
Hi, Summer. So I'm a French journalist, and I wanted to ask you why you chose in the first place to train in the south of France with Fred. If you could describe me your relationship with Fred and describe your life there in the south of France, if you like it there. Thank you.
I mean, I don't think you can get much better than this. I wish you guys could see, but behind me is just a bunch of yachts. Being in the south of France, it's so beautiful here. The culture is amazing. And of course, Fred has been absolutely incredible. I mean, we've only been together for a few months now, but we've sparked up a relationship so quickly and bonded amazingly. He's such an amazing coach, and he has really taken me to the next level in the sport. And to do that with such little time together is, I mean, it just shows how amazing he is at what he does. Along with the train group here, I mean, every single day, training hour to hour, I always have so much fun with everyone here, and I've made so many new teammates and so many new friendships as well, even with the language barrier, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, it's just such an enjoyable day in, day out. Fred has he's created amazing culture here. And yeah, it really can't get much better than this. I mean, it's so beautiful.
Nice. Okay, let's go back to Bruce, who's going to be with us over in Singapore.
Summer, you had when you did the 800 in Victoria, you said you kind of lost your pacing, or were a little bit fuzzy in your pacing kind of in the late middle of the race. Would it help, do you think, if Katie's swimming beside you? Because if she's now in her prime and you're that close to the record, what difference can that make in the race for you?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's always nicer to have someone right beside you, and it gives you that extra little bit of motivation. And yeah, I mean, even right after my post-race interview after the 800, I kind of said the middle 400, I was kind of in no man's land. I didn't really know where I was. So having someone that's going, I don't know, around the same pace, maybe, we don't know yet, but I think having someone beside me or whatever close to me, and a bunch of other girls in that heat as well, just overall being in a heat with so many amazing swimmers that are going to be, fighting for that medal, I think always gives you a little bit of adrenaline rush. I think you can kind of see that, like, for example, in my tuner, I am at the Olympics. It just gives that extra little bump. So I would say, yeah, I'm really excited to have some close quarter racing in an 800 freestyle, which is really cool. So yeah, it'll be lots of fun, and I'm excited to get back to racing because I miss it, even though it's only been like a month.
Okay, Simone, did you have another question?
Yes. What are your intentions about relays? Do you intend to swim some relays this summer?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my goal for Team Canada and for Swimming Canada is always to put me on the relays that will make me reach my full potential for Team Canada. And going into any World Championships or Olympics, the goal is always to get as many golds as possible. So whatever that means, whatever relays I'm on for that, and how managing with my individual races as well, it's really up to the team, and I'll do whatever it takes to get the medal count as high as possible.
Okay, I see Zachary Gates at Nine Network in Australia, I believe.
Yes, that's correct. Hi, Summer. Question about Ariane Titmus. So, of course, you broke a 400-meter world record a couple of months ago. So, Ariane Titmus, she was asked about it at the Australian trials. She said it gets the juices flowing, and she described you as an absolute phenomenon. How do you feel about Ariane Titmus' response to you breaking her record, and do you hope that Titmus can get back to her best when she makes her comeback? Is it a rivalry that you embrace?
Oh yeah, for sure. No matter the swimmer, I think I'm always embracing the sport, continuing to push and move forward, and I'm sure she'll get back to form sooner rather than later. And I think I understand what she's saying when it kind of gets the juices flowing. When you see other people swimming really, really fast, everyone in the sport super competitive, so it motivates you to do the same. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and she's a really tough competitor, and she brings the best out of me. So I think, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Great. Okay, I see two more hands up, so maybe let's do those two more questions, and we'll try to get Summer out a couple minutes early even. So let's go, Andrew from the Olympic Channel. Then we can finish up with Izumi in Japan, since that's our next stop for our staging camp.
Hey again, Summer. It was announced last month that the Olympic LA 2028 pool is going to be 38,000 capacity. How does it make you feel, the thought of competing on that stage, something that swimming really deserves, so close to home as well, in the right time zone? I know you probably don't look too far ahead, but it must be some kind of motivation for you.
Oh no, for sure. When that news came out that I was going to be in SoFi Stadium too, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like a dream. I'm so excited for that. in Paris, the crowd was absolutely incredible. And I fed off that so much for every single one of my races. And it gave me so much extra adrenaline and motivation. And to know that there's gonna be that many people this time is wild. And I think it's so cool to see the sport of swimming continuing to grow over these next few years. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm already super pumped for LA and the fact that there's gonna be 38,000 people in that stadium and it being in SoFi as well. And of course, like you said, in LA, which is pretty close to home in Canada. So I think it's just gonna be an incredible game. So of course, I'm already pumped for that and looking forward to it.
Yes, hi, Summer. So you're one of the favorites at the swimming, I mean, the Singapore this year. But what kind of shows you want to put on for your fans in the world? Like, what should we, as a fan, what should we expect from you in Singapore?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what I expect for myself. I mean, I of course have expectations and goals, which is to get as many golds as possible. But I think a good motivation for me, like you said, is to kind of put on a show. That's kind of the energy I channeled going into the Olympic Games and keeping the sport exciting and fun and close quarter racing is always a good time as well. So, I mean, the goal is always to win for me and be my best and reach my full potential, whatever that looks like in Singapore. I'm not quite sure yet, but I mean, we'll find out soon. So.
Okay, and I did see David Tan's hand go up from the Singapore paper. I don't know if you folks checked in late, but maybe we could do one more question and then we'll wrap up.
Thanks for the time. I'm from Singapore, so Summer, welcome to Singapore beforehand. Just wondering, because the pool in Singapore, it will be deeper than the Paris pool. So not sure whether do you think that it will help you to improve further on the results or even breaking some records, and anything besides swimming you want to do in Singapore particularly?
I'm so excited to explore the city of Singapore. Hopefully I get a little bit of time to do so, but I'm sure I'll be pretty busy before and during the meet, but maybe a little bit afterwards. Because I've heard so many amazing things and I've never been there before. So I'm really excited to get to explore. But I think, I mean, for me personally, I didn't notice a difference in the pool in Paris. I mean, it was shallower, but it wasn't anything too crazy for me. I mean, everyone has their own opinions on it, but I think especially when you get to Olympic Games, I mean, you waited 4 years for it, you're not gonna, mentally think about it too much and just focus on your races, no matter if the pool is 51 meters even. So I think I'm not focused on that too much. But I mean, I saw some photos of the Singapore pool getting set up and things like that, and it looks super cool and super fast. So I mean, anytime I get a race in a new pool, it's always a fun time and a learning experience.